fucking my money up, I don't give a what Jay's doing, to be honest. But when he fucking with my money, that's when I be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, enough is enough. We're grown men, we supposed to be gangsters. Like, I was like, I thought we was different, you know? Like I said, me and homeboy was both getting at her. It was like one of us is gonna win. And I got, I won.
Jay-Z's already got 90.
At 53, Dame Dash is finally revealing the untold stories behind his relationship with Jay-Z, lifting the veil on their once thriving partnership and the dramatic fallout that followed. From launching Jay-Z's career to building Roc-A-Fella Records together, Dash reflects on their rise to fame, but also the tension and betrayal that fractured their bond. In this candid revelation, Dash exposes the business moves, personal rifts, and power struggles that led to their split, offering his perspective on the tumultuous journey they shared. As Jay-Z has become an untouchable mogul, Dash takes us inside the tension, betrayal, and ambition that ultimately tore apart what was once a powerful alliance. It's an exclusive, unfiltered look into the high-stakes world of hip-hop. Known for his brash personality, independent spirit, and deep connection to the culture, Dame Dash has spent years reflecting on his tumultuous relationship with Jay-Z, the business mogul who helped define their shared success. In a recent interview, Dash finally shares his side of the story, offering a no-holds-barred account of his time with Jay-Z and how their partnership unraveled. Dame Dash's rise to prominence is inseparable from Jay-Z's success. Together, they co-founded Roc-A-Fella Records in the late 1990s, an independent label that revolutionized the music industry. Their shared vision to create their own platform and break free from the traditional power structures of the industry led to the creation of a game-changing empire. Dash's relentless hustle and Jay-Z's lyrical genius formed a dynamic partnership, one that redefined how artists could control their careers and reshaped the landscape of hip-hop. Their collaboration brought fresh opportunities, establishing Roc-A-Fella as a powerhouse in both music and business.
I honestly, like, unless he's my money up, I don't give a what Jay's doing, to be honest. But when he's with my money, that's when I be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already walked away from the block, leave me alone. But I don't, only, like, what's going on now is, like, interesting to know what's going to happen and like, everyone's interested. But other than that, I never really cared what he was doing. I really don't.
How is he messing up your money?
Like, if I'm trying to sell something, him and his lawyers, Alex Shapiro, putting a false lawsuit on me, like, like that, devaluing anything that I have or trying to sell. But, or even down to, like, we were selling Rocawear, right, for like $400 million or whatever. I was gonna make $40 million. And right before Tommy Hilfiger signs the papers, he makes an announcement saying that he's not with Rocawear, that he's only with S. Carter. The whole shit up. And I just feel like he did that only because I was gonna make $40 million. Like, he just couldn't see, like, they get so mad if I'm gonna make money off them. But every time I could have made a really big check, he's always stepped in and intentionally it up.
Their journey was far from easy. When Jay-Z's debut album Reasonable Doubt failed to get signed by major labels, it was Dame Dash who believed in him and took the risk of creating Roc-A-Fella Records. Dash's unwavering belief in Jay-Z's talent was the spark that launched the label. Their commitment eventually paid off with the success of Jay-Z's albums, particularly Hard Knock Life, which skyrocketed both the label and their careers to new heights. The album not only cemented Jay-Z's place as a hip-hop icon, but also propelled Roc-A-Fella into the stratosphere, transforming it into one of the most influential labels of its time.
That he felt he didn't need to rap anymore, but that changed and he eventually connected with some guys across the East River in Harlem, New York, around the year 94. They were a group of young hustlers who went by the name Best Out. It included Dame Dash, Kareem Biggs Burke, and a few others who used to throw parties at venues in the city. Dame Dash, a Harlem native, was advised to link up with Jay-Z by DJ Clark Kent because he was managing a few up-and-coming hip-hop acts at the time. After the introduction was made, the two sparked it off right, as both were young entrepreneurs building a name for themselves in the industry. Dame brought in Biggs, and the plan was to take the marketing savvy that they used with Best Out and apply it to music. The three agreed to launch Roc-A-Fella together in the late 94 or early 95, with Biggs being the silent partner and Dame and Jay being the most visible. Jay got to work and started recording his debut album set to drop the following year in 1996. With a singles-only deal by Payday Records, a small label, Jay had been turned down by most of them.
As Roc-A-Fella expanded, so did the tension between Dame Dash and Jay-Z. Despite building a multi-million-dollar empire together, their contrasting personalities began to strain their relationship. Dash was known for his bold, sometimes abrasive management style, while Jay-Z took a more calculated, professional approach. These differences in temperament, with Dash's more confrontational style and Jay-Z's cooler, more strategic mindset, started to create growing friction. What had once been a powerful partnership became increasingly difficult to manage, with both men having differing visions for the future of their careers and the label. The cracks in their relationship were beginning to show, signaling the eventual unraveling of their once thriving collaboration.
Was the highest charting single at number 50. Def Jam's move to add on the singles to Naughty Professor basically saved it. The album went on to sell 420,000 copies in its first year of release, making Jay a force to be reckoned with in hip-hop. Seeing the success and a buzz around the first album, Def Jam signed Jay to a 50-50 multi-million-dollar distribution deal in 1997 with his Roc-A-Fella imprint. Def Jam bought half of the label for $1.5 million, leaving Jay, Dame, and Biggs the other half. It was on from there on. The trio's hustle had finally paid off, and they had found their purpose in life. Jay released his next 3 albums, In My Lifetime Volume 1 in 1997, Volume 2, Hard Knock Life in 1998, and Volume 3, Life and Times of S. Carter in 1999. All 3 of those albums included hit records, and he also made guest appearances on Biggie's posthumous album, Life After Death, that raised his popularity as one of the biggest rappers in the country and made Roc-A-Fella a label to be reckoned with. Dame knew how to capitalize on Jay's powerful momentum, and in 1999, Dame organized the legendary Hard Knock Life Tour, which featured a lineup of Hove, DMX, Method Man, Redman, and Beanie Siegel, Memphis Bleak, Ja Rule.
While Dash thrived in the fast-paced, hands-on world of entrepreneurship, Jay-Z started focusing more on long-term business ventures, aligning himself with larger corporate interests. Dash, on the other hand, remained committed to maintaining independence, avoiding what he saw as the corporate trap that Jay-Z seemed to embrace. Their differing approaches became a point of contention, as Dash's vision for staying independent clashed with Jay-Z's shift toward corporate partnerships. Roc-A-Fella wasn't the only brand they built together. In the early 2000s, they launched Rocawear, a clothing line that quickly became a staple in hip-hop fashion. Dash's entrepreneurial mindset played a key role in elevating the brand, while Jay-Z's star power attracted a wider audience, making Rocawear one of the most recognizable names in streetwear. Together, they turned Rocawear into a cultural force, but as Jay-Z's focus shifted, Dash's hands-on approach in managing the brand helped it grow in the way he envisioned. This further highlighted the contrast in their business strategies.
The objective was to take over the whole entire planet. I made a conscious decision to take over the world. I like to spend all kinds of money. I like the dollar, I like the euro, I like the pound, I like the franc pause.
Dame Dash is the ultimate hustler. He could sell sand in the desert, water to a fish, and famously convinced Adam22 to give him $500 for a haircut, despite not having a hair on his head.
That sounds like a pretty expensive haircut, considering all he really needs a Bic. I could have done it for free.
But Dame Dash was always a neighborhood finesser, starting his business career way back as a youth when he actually had hair. As a young boy, he made money any way he could, from sweeping up hair on barbershop floors to delivering newspapers. And apparently, being so young with more money than all of the adults around him is what fostered that nasty arrogance that Dame Dash is so famous for.
Having more money than people older than me made it where, it made me kind of arrogant because they didn't have anything that I felt I didn't have, and they were living a square life. So I definitely think it gave me a certain mentality.
I mean, just imagine how demeaning it would be to have a 14-year-old Dame Dash calling your grown ass out for being broke.
But
Is
sometimes
$100,000 money?
it's money,
Not to me.
but you can't do.
Not to me.
But as time went by, Dame Dash made a name for himself in Harlem as an entrepreneur.
In addition to Rocawear, Dash made several other strategic business moves, including ventures in film production and marketing. His influence expanded well beyond music, positioning himself as a mogul in his own right, constantly seeking new ways to grow his empire. Dash was committed to maintaining control and independence, believing that staying free from corporate structures was key to his vision. However, Jay-Z's ambitions began to diverge. While Dash pushed for continued independence, Jay-Z took on a corporate role with Def Jam, which marked a significant shift in his career. Dash saw this move as a betrayal, feeling that Jay-Z had embraced the very corporate world that they had once sought to challenge and break away from. This shift in focus added to the growing tension between the two, marking a pivotal point in their relationship and signaling the beginning of the end for their partnership.
All went under the Roc-A-Fella imprint. In the year 2000, a young Chicago beatmaker, Kanye West, started producing for artists on Roc-A-Fella Records as an in-house producer. While Jay and Roc-A-Fella, the label, was getting bigger in the music scene, he started noticing the power of his influence amongst his fans, from the clothes they were wearing to the preferred alcohol beverages that was being imitated by the audience. Jay and Dame saw an opportunity to get into the clothing business, following the model of Russell Simmons with his Fat Farm brand. The idea actually came about around 1997, but it wasn't launched till later on in 1999. Jay was quoted as saying, "I would make records and talk about various clothing brands, and I started noticing that I was selling a lot of clothing for these companies. I would go to them and they kept turning me away. I don't think they understood the amount of..."
By 2004, it was clear that the bond between Dash and Jay-Z was on the verge of collapse. Jay-Z's growing aspirations at Def Jam, combined with his desire to retire from music and focus on business, marked a significant turning point in their partnership. The final straw came when Jay-Z allegedly interfered with a major Rocawear deal, which Dash claims cost him millions of dollars. This move, coupled with Jay-Z's decision to prioritize his solo career and business ventures, while distancing himself from Dame Dash, became the catalyst for their split. Despite the escalating personal and professional tensions, Dash never fully severed ties with Jay-Z. However, the partnership that had once fueled their rise to the top was no longer sustainable. The shift in their ambitions, along with their differing visions for the future, made it clear that their paths had diverged, leading to the dissolution of their once legendary collaboration.
Fashion giant Charlotte Ronson, who was just a 21-year-old British singer looking to bridge into the fashion world at the time. With Roc-A-Fella for financial backing and distribution, the 21-year-old Ronson was able to concentrate on the creative aspect of the business. In the year 2000, Rocawear signed a deal with Midway Games and PlayStation 2 to design clothing for the Afro Thunder character from the popular video game Ready to Rumble. Another branding opportunity came with the early 2002 release of the new film State Property with Beans. The film featured a State Property line of Rocawear, and Beans got a piece of the deal. Beans and the State Property crew wore the outfit in the film, and while performing, Dame was working. By mid-year 2002, him and the crew flew to Paris, shooting an ad campaign featuring the new State Property line and Rocawear's other apparel. Models, State Prop, and former Spice Girl Victoria Beckham shot on locations around the legendary City of Lights. In a campaign Dame hoped would appeal to the European consumers. Dame was dreaming big and wanted to conquer the internet.
One of the most significant moments in the fallout between Dame Dash and Jay-Z was Jay-Z's transition to Def Jam, where he took on the role of president. In doing so, Jay-Z essentially positioned himself as a key player in the corporate music world. This move marked a major shift in the landscape of hip-hop, as Jay-Z became more of a businessman than an artist. His embrace of corporate power and big money deals signaled a departure from the independent spirit that had fueled their rise. Dame Dash, on the other hand, was left on the sidelines, watching as his former partner embraced this world of corporate maneuvering. Dash had always prided himself on his independence and was not eager to follow in Jay-Z's footsteps. Instead, he tried to maintain his own label and business empire, but the challenges of doing so without the same level of backing and influence proved overwhelming. As Jay-Z flourished in his corporate role, Dash found himself struggling to keep his vision intact in an increasingly competitive and corporate-driven industry.
Хочу говорить, потому что мы помолчим. Нельзя, потому что проблема будет у нас. Yo, Dan, you gotta bring that back, yo. We doing?
Also, Beans was going through his legal issue with the gun case, so there was a lot of bad press with Roc-A-Fella at the time. Def Jam is now trying to figure out how to separate Jay from Dame, as they see him as somebody who they couldn't work with anymore because of his temperament. The last straw was when Dame found out about a meeting at Def Jam's offices about Jay that he wasn't a part of. Dame decided to head up there, where he berated everybody in the office.
Called Damon Dash and said, "You want the whole thing to hear it? Keep the door open. I don't give a." Y'all should have called Damon Dash, made sure I was privy to it, and made sure I was CC'd or whatever. You don't send an email randomly at 10:30 at night or whatever it is at night, the day we all had to wait. That shit don't fly right. And on another level, it's not for y'all to go. Y'all do not control any of my artists. That's why I'm asking questions. Everybody looking dumb in the face. So what was we doing? What was we talking about in terms of...
Jay-Z's departure from Roc-A-Fella Records was a defining moment in their professional relationship. It wasn't just a business move. It symbolized a deeper ideological divide between the two. Jay-Z's decision to align himself with major corporate interests at Def Jam represented a shift toward mainstream success and corporate power, which was in stark contrast to Dame Dash's commitment to maintaining control and independence. For Dash, this move signified a betrayal of the very principles they had built Roc-A-Fella on, an independent, artist-driven empire that challenged the corporate norms of the music industry. Jay-Z's pivot to corporate ventures was not just about growing his business. It highlighted the philosophical differences that ultimately tore apart the bond they had shared in building their empire.
That around this time, Jay began to have a lot less admiration for Dame Dash as a business mentor, saying in a 2009 XXL interview that he believes that Dame Dash is good at starting something, but constantly gets in his own way, suggesting that Dame Dash just doesn't know how to behave in the professional corporate world. Oh, come on, Jay. I mean, sure, Warren Buffett knows loads about building a successful conglomerate of corporate businesses, but can he move like this? Essentially, Dame was running around constantly causing messes that Jay had to clean up after Dame had been such a dash hole. And from there, Jay began to rely more on his former accountant John Minnelli and record exec Steve Stout for business support. This, combined with Jay-Z's ambition to retire after his final album, The Black Album, and become a full-time business executive, would be the death knell for his partnership with Dame Dash. When a drunken Dame Dash was interviewed in 2004, he seemed to have an inkling that Jay-Z was about to spread his wings and go independent.
So what's going on with you and Jay and everything right now?
That's my man. You know, he's doing his thing. Jay's doing what he do. You know, he got his S. Carter. Probably do a record label or something. You know, we love Jay. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Jay's an independent individual. That's what I breed over at the Roc. He's a product of the Roc. Go fly your wings, Jay. I'm with you. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
That's my man.
But nothing could have prepared him for the inception.
One of Dash's most outspoken criticisms of Jay-Z is his business-first mentality. Dash points to Jay-Z's handling of Rocawear and other ventures as evidence of Jay's willingness to prioritize financial gain over personal loyalty. According to Dash, Jay-Z's actions not only strained their personal relationship but also cost him millions of dollars. Dash specifically refers to an incident where Jay-Z allegedly interfered with a significant business deal, which Dash believes was motivated either by jealousy or a desire for more control. For Dash, this was a clear example of Jay-Z placing business above their long-standing partnership and personal trust, further deepening the rift between them. Dame Dash strongly believes that Jay-Z prioritized business over loyalty, particularly when it came to R. Kelly. Dash was deeply hurt by Jay-Z's decision to work with Kelly, especially given Jay's knowledge of the relationship between R. Kelly and Aaliyah, whom Dash was dating at the time. This perceived betrayal led Dash to distance himself from Roc-A-Fella and its ventures, feeling that Jay-Z had chosen personal gain over their friendship and the values they once shared. Dash's refusal to sell his share of Roc-A-Fella was a symbolic gesture of his commitment to independence, showing that he wasn't willing to relinquish control or compromise his principles. However, this decision also left him at a disadvantage as Jay-Z's career continued to soar. Dash's inability to keep up with Jay-Z's corporate moves, coupled with the shifting dynamics between them, eventually led to the decline of his own ventures. Dash found himself on the outside, watching as Jay-Z embraced corporate success while his own empire faltered.
Rocawear, that was dirty.
You remember when Jay was wearing them dress shirts all the time? So when you order, you have to order like a year ahead of time. So then it went out of style and we ended up with dead stock and having to sell it off price. We lost. And now it's devaluing the company. I'm investing in different brands and Rocawear be the umbrella, but they did not understand that. So we taking losses there because we starting companies. We took the losses with the dress shirts. So now it's going down and I'm arguing with them and I'm like, yo, sell my interest, man. I just want to go. We were about to sell it to Tommy Hilfiger for like, $450 million. So I was walking away with like $40 million. Right before we closed, your man makes an announcement that he's launching another brand. That's Doc Carter. So it devalued the brand and they left. Jay's not a part of it. We don't want it. Every time we be about to sell it, he would do that would devalue it and it seemed like it was intentional. Why did you keep doing that? Obviously.
Recently, Jay-Z has been facing renewed scrutiny over allegations of paternity involving a son named Roc-A-Fella, with the ongoing legal battle intensifying public interest in his personal life. While Jay-Z has yet to directly address the matter, Dame Dash's remarks suggest that there may be more to the story than meets the eye. Dash, who has always been open about his perspective on Jay-Z's actions, may hold additional insights that could shed light on the situation, especially given the history and tensions between them.
Did Jay know about what he did to Aaliyah?
Did he know that everybody knew R. Kelly married Aaliyah at 15? Everybody knew that. So was the conversation had like, yo, how you gonna go and do something with this dude? Hell yeah, that conversation was had. If you think I'm soft, like I'm punk, that didn't happen. I was like, yo, how you gonna do a project with a girl? We had the conversation. Why would you still someone that raped your girl? Would you still do anything with that person? So why would anyone expect me? But that's what I don't understand. I'd be like, yo, people be like, why? Isn't it? Just that alone. There's a lot of other shit. But that alone was like the nail in the coffin for me. I was out of it. I was gone. Trust me. After that, I don't want to be nowhere near. I knew that shit was gonna blow up. I didn't want no parts of that shit. Like I was like, I don't want no parts. That's not good money. So I was done with him for that.
How did Jay respond when you confronted him?
You know how he is. It's like, yo,
One of the most striking aspects of Dame Dash's comments is his observation of how the public has treated Jay-Z throughout his career. Despite his massive success, Jay-Z has managed to maintain a largely untouchable reputation, with his personal life and actions often overlooked or excused. However, as Dash points out, recent controversies have begun to unravel that carefully curated image. The public's sudden shift in scrutiny, particularly regarding his legal and personal issues, marks a departure from the leniency Jay-Z has historically enjoyed. Dash's reflections underscore the complexities of Jay-Z's public persona and the challenges he now faces in maintaining his image as both a business mogul and a cultural icon. As the spotlight intensifies on his personal life, Jay-Z's carefully managed brand is being tested in ways it hasn't been before. Dash's remarks hint at deeper layers to the story, suggesting that the man behind the mogul image may be confronting pressures and challenges that go beyond the public's view of him.
Jay-Z hiding. Now look, everyone should just be demanding to go take a paternity test every time someone comes forward to try to get some money. I understand the rights of Jay-Z's. However, it looks like his lawyers did everything they could to avoid it and to lie about it, and now there may be actual fraud at play. And that's where I take umbrage, because we need to take him for the benefit of the doubt, right? Jay-Z, apparently give him some credibility. But if it's proven that he's lied in the past regarding lawsuits, that's not going to help his case. At least it's not in my opinion. Let's go through what this man is alleging. Okay, so renewed calls to confirm the paternity of his illegitimate son is another legal blow the rapper is now facing. Record executive, real name Shawn Carter, has been named in a civil lawsuit, as we know. He's now been dragged into an ongoing legal tussle over the paternity of Rymir Satterwhite, who has been a decades-long fight to prove that the rapper is his biological.
While Dame Dash and Jay-Z's relationship has been marked by conflict, it's impossible to deny the massive impact they had on hip-hop culture. Roc-A-Fella Records was a revolutionary force in the industry, shaping the sound, style, and success of a generation of artists. Their collaboration birthed some of the most influential albums and launched the careers of countless artists, redefining how the music business operated. Even as their paths diverged, with Dash sticking to his independent ethos and Jay-Z embracing corporate ventures, the legacy of Roc-A-Fella continues to define their careers. The imprint they left on the industry is undeniable, and despite their personal fallout, both Jay-Z and Dame Dash remain iconic figures in hip-hop. Their shared success with Roc-A-Fella will forever be a cornerstone of hip-hop history, influencing the direction of the genre for years to come.
This might be the last Super Bowl overseen by Jay-Z.
Say that in the name of Yesh. He is next.
There's a whole lot of people in the industry whose names are going to come out.
I never stuck my cock in the box, but damn if I ain't open Pandora's box. They try to slander your man on CNN and Fox. My Miranda don't stand a chance. Cop.
I think he began to feel the pressure because people were saying my age, the age thing. She was 15, 14. And after a while, that gets to a person. The Jay I know, the Shawn I know, never comes out of character.
The people love Jay-Z so much and have so much respect for him that I just don't see people latching onto it and approving it and turning Jay-Z into a joke the way that they've done.
Dame Dash's revelations about his relationship with Jay-Z offer a unique window into the complex dynamics that shaped the trajectory of hip-hop. Their partnership was fueled by ambition and shared vision, but also marred by ego, betrayal, and diverging ideas about the future. At 53, Dash's reflections reveal a man who has moved past the pain of the past, but still carries the weight of what was lost in his relationship with Jay-Z. As both men continue to shape their legacies, the story of Roc-A-Fella serves as a reminder of how ambition, loyalty, and business can both build and tear down empires. What do you think about their journey and the split? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more updates, and hit that bell so you never miss a thing.
What we built, no time or space, right? No matter how many years I ain't seen him, the love is still there, because, what we've done was, forever be, stamped in history. Like we created something that's gonna go down forever. So it's I can only have love for Damon.
That's nice to hear.
I just don't know, where we are in our life. Are we the same two young men at that time, or were we gel in that way? We're two different people.
You never cross paths? People never try to...
No, I haven't seen him in a while.
Do you ever, because there's been so many news stories about stuff that he's dealing with. Do you ever feel, do you ever feel bad that it ended the way it did? Or that maybe his situation didn't turn out to be as good as your situation? And...
Yeah, I have a thing about, in life, I can't control everything. I can't control the things in life. Of course, if you see someone going through problems, but I have ultimate confidence in him that he'll find his way, because he's an amazing and really smart guy, and he's a, I almost said